Welcome back to another video. Now, in this current video, we do have a very important subject that I would like to talk about, which is the importance of an engineering degree. And why do I think that an engineering degree is considered to be a very important tool that will help you in today's world. Now, in this video, we're not talking about the various jobs that someone with an engineering degree could have, or false promises that an engineering degree will give you a really high paying job and you are going to be one of those highly paid individuals or professionals in the field. Well, these are subjective to the market, to the country you're at, your level of experience, education, which we are going to leave for another day. But in a simple way, on simple terms, when you are trying to prepare yourself with skills, a skill set, which will help you tackle on the world as it is, engineering degree provides essential knowledge, provides core skill set that will allow you to tackle on various obstacles in the world. Now, let me explain. If you are someone who's planning on taking an engineering qualifications, let's say, whether civil, mechanical, electrical, architectural engineering, whatever form of engineering, this is not the focus of this current video. Just simply being an engineer will equip you with important tools. Now let's go through them. First of all, analysis. As an engineer, you will be trained to analyze information, data, circumstances, situations, problems, which is a very, very important skill in today's world, regardless of the industry you are working at. The second key important skill would be critical thinking. As an engineer, you are going to have a different perspective on problems, which has been fine-tuned and sharpened by years of practice and problem solving. So when you address a real-life problem, critical thinking is a skill that not many individuals have. Third key point, problem-solving abilities. Every single company in the world needs a great problem solver. Now, as a mechanical engineer, projects manager, I've worked in various industries spanning from oil and gas, construction, maintenance, education. All of these industries are equipped with individuals who have problem-solving abilities. And guess what? The best problem solvers tend to be engineers. How about managers? The best managers tend to have an engineering background. Now, why? Simply because they're able to utilize their engineering skills in the form of problem solving, critical analysis, and detailed interpretation of a certain problem within an organization and arrive to a logical, sequential, applicable implementation. Now, as an engineer, you do have all of these skills which are essential to any industry that you work at. Let me give you a sort of proof on that. If you are coming from a business background, a business major, if you are an accountant or you have a business administration degree, or you have a nutrition background, environmental science, and if you plan on, like, you have finished your bachelor's degree and you're planning on to take on a master's degree, can you take a master's in engineering assuming you came from a business background? So you finished 4 years bachelor's of administration within business, or Bachelor of Business Administration, whatever the naming is, and you're planning on becoming an engineer and do a master's program for 1 to 2 years. Impossible. No single university would allow you to enroll in such a program. Why? Because to have the title of an engineer and to call yourself an engineer, you should go through 4 to 5 years of core preparation, problem solving, technical courses, skills fine-tuning in order to graduate and earn the title of an engineer. The same way someone graduates and they call himself a doctor, you graduate and you call yourself an engineer. But on the other hand, if someone has graduated and they come from an engineering background and they would like to do a master's in accounting, a master's in finance, and master's in business administration, masters in painting, masters in whatever it is, computer science, programming, robotics, AI, All of these options are open to someone with an engineering background. So an engineering background or engineering degree gives you that extra edge in order to help you develop your educational skill set, let's say, further down the road. If you study engineering and you have no idea whether you like it or not, whether you want to become a civil engineer or a mechanical engineer or a chemical engineer, regardless of that, once you graduate and you decide to change your mind, you would like to go for something else. You've learned about yourself better, you have developed some awareness of what you would like or you don't like, which is quite rare to obtain when you are 18 or 21 years old entering a university program. Usually once you graduate, along the way down the road, you start to figure out the things that you're interested in and that you would like to learn about. Many individuals that graduate from a mechanical engineering degree, for example, or civil, electrical, and on the spot, as soon as they graduate, they do a master's program within the engineering domain, they rarely use it, because they haven't worked in the field to address their own preferences. On the other hand, someone who graduated from a mechanical engineering background, later down the road, they decide to switch to business and they do an MBA, Master's in Business Administration. That's quite doable, and guess what? Greatest managers are engineers in terms of background to a certain point. Take a look at the global scale. The top managers for many companies across the globe, they have an engineering background. So an engineering degree provides you with a set of tools, a set of skills that you can use to help you tackle on the world and adjust accordingly. Now, this is very important for someone who's considering an engineering degree. And by all means, I'm not advocating for you to become an engineer, on the contrary. But as a mechanical engineer, if I would go back in time, I would still go for mechanical engineering, even though some companies or some positions or some scopes of work are not something that I would prefer personally, but I would still go for the program simply for the sake of stuff that I'm going to learn, which surely have helped me along the way during my extensive career within various fields. Every single job role that I've accompanied, from entry level to managerial level to owning businesses, all of these things have been supported with skills that I've acquired from studying within an engineering program. So this is just simply an informative lesson for someone who's considering engineering and they have one step forward and one step backwards and they're not sure if engineering degree is a good fit for them. Now, as an engineer, I would advise that you go for an engineering degree, but keep in mind, you shouldn't be going in it to secure a really lucrative job, because some jobs pay way more than an engineering degree, for sure, especially in today's market. But if you want to acquire skills that you will not be able to acquire elsewhere, I'm talking about technical stuff, knowledge, information, which you will not be able to find elsewhere, which you will not be able to access the market and work in specific industries without, then an engineering degree would be something that you would like to consider. If later down the road you change your mind, you still have the ability to do so. You have the ability to actually change direction. Now, at one point in time, for over 9 to 10 years, I was working in highly technical industries: oil and gas, contracting, construction, facilities management, maintenance. These are pure engineering domains. As a mechanical engineer, that was the perfect fit. But further down the road, I realized I always had the passion, I always had the insight to teach better, to educate better. And that's when I made the transition to actually transfer from construction, the engineering domain in terms of applications, to the education and the academics end, where I do provide and teach engineers, equip them with information that I have acquired over the years, in addition to students and aspiring engineers. Now, that shift was quite smooth because I do possess the knowledge, do possess the skills which an engineering degree helped me acquire. Now, this is something for you to think about. Consider it as food for thought for someone considering an engineering degree. Now, if you are 100% certain you are not going to become an engineer and this is not your cup of tea, by all means, of course. Not everyone would like to become an engineer. Not everyone would like to be a doctor. Everyone got their own preferences. But for someone who's exploring the domain and they are quite interested in it, but they have no idea where it will lead to next, this is something that they would like to learn, to listen to, and help them develop their awareness whether or not an engineering degree is a good fit for them. Now, if you found this video beneficial, make sure that you join our growing community where we cover an array of subjects, including upcoming trends in degrees and jobs, which are surely helpful to many students transitioning to the university or recent graduates who are embarking into the market and they have no idea where to start. This is your support system, so make sure that you join our growing community, and we'll see you in the upcoming video.